Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Julie Chrisley becomes card shark in prison. Julie Chrisley, 52, rose to fame for participating in the hit reality show Chrisley Knows Best. She has been married to her husband, Todd, since 1996. The reality TV show followed the close-knit family and their lavish lifestyle. The Chersleys portrayed themselves as real estate tycoons, when in reality, they were committing a bank fraud scheme and defrauding the American government through tax evasion. Julie and her husband were found guilty in June 2022 and sentenced to prison. So how is the reality star settling into her prison sentence? Keep reading to find out. Chrisley Knows Best followed Julie Chrisley and her family as they lived a lavish lifestyle in Atlanta, GA, and Nashville, TN. At the height of its popularity, the show had over 2 million viewers and spawned multiple spin-off shows. However, things took a turn in 2022 when the show was renewed for its 10th season. It came to light that Julie and her husband, Todd, had been committing bank fraud and tax evasion. Julie and her husband defrauded banks of more than $30 million in fraudulent loans. They went through a very public trial and were eventually found guilty. Julie Chrisley reported to serve her 7-year prison sentence on January 17, 2023. Chrisley appealed her case and was granted an appeal. However, she was resentenced to the same 84 months she had received in her first trial. Fans have been eager to keep up with Julie as she serves her time at FMC Lexington in Kentucky. Julie's daughter Savannah often offers glimpses into her parents' current situation on her podcast, Unlocked. Julie's daughter Savannah Chrisley recently had a former inmate of FMC Lexington on her podcast, who offered an inside look at Julie Chrisley's daily life in prison. Savannah was joined by Sharita Mona, who served 8 months alongside Savannah's mother, Julie. Sharita Mona recalled one of her first encounters with Julie Chrisley after she turned herself in. She said Julie smiled, but you could tell she was in deep thought, she shared. She was thinking about getting where she had to go. And a few people spoke to her, but she was to her. She was by herself and kinda just with herself. She was real quiet. Julie soon settled into her new reality. Sharita Mona referred to Julie Chrisley as a little card shark. She explained she was playing cards, and so she played cards with some girls I was friends with. And they said, "Oh, we gotta introduce you to Julie." And so we spoke, but they were, deep into their game. Sharita explained that a few weeks later she and Julie began to work together, and they connected on a deeper level. Sharita offered an insight into Julie Chrisley's state of mind while in prison. She said, "She's worried about you all. She loves you all. You're her world." Savannah Chersleigh confirmed that her mother has always been super present for her and her siblings. She continued that they never had to doubt if their mom would show up for them. During the episode of Unlocked, Savannah received a call from Julie. She expressed to her daughter that she was happy she was able to connect with Sharita Mona, and the mother exchanged I love yous with her daughter and let her know she would reach out the next day. What do you think of Julie Chrisley becoming a card shark while serving her prison sentence? Let us know in the comments. When Julie Chrisley stepped into the Lexington Federal Medical Center in Kentucky, she didn't expect to become an underground legend. Known to millions from the reality TV series Chrisley Knows Best, Julie was more often seen in pristine kitchens and designer blouses than surrounded by gray cinder block walls. But life, as they say, has a twisted sense of humor. What began as quiet time turned into an unexpected transformation. Julie Chrisley, the Southern belle with a fondness for perfection, reinvented herself as the facility's most cunning card shark. It all started on a rainy Tuesday afternoon in the common room. A few inmates were gathered around a battered table playing spades, their laughter echoing through the hall. Julie, ever the observer, watched from a distance, folding laundry with the same meticulous care she once used on her designer wardrobe. "Come on over, TV lady," one inmate called out with a smirk. "See if that southern charm helps your hand." At first she hesitated. Julie had never been a gambler, unless you counted betting Todd wouldn't ruin another family event. But there was something magnetic about the room. Maybe the rhythm of the cards or the way the players teased and talked trash. A rare spark of life in an otherwise colorless routine. So she sat down. That first game, Julie lost miserably. She misread the table, misplayed her hand, and was outwitted by a woman nicknamed Killer Queen who claimed to have run high-stakes games in Miami before landing behind bars. But Julie had something else. Discipline, a relentless need to prove herself, and time, endless hours to learn. She started studying obsessively. Books on poker theory from the prison library, tattered and missing pages. She practiced with makeshift cards drawn on cereal boxes when the deck was locked away. She listened, watched, learned the players, their tells, their tempers, their weaknesses. By month 3, they stopped calling her TV Lady and started calling her the Duchess. Julie Chrisley had gone full Ocean's 11, minus the tuxedoed heist. She mastered spades, moved on to poker, then Texas Hold'em. She developed a reputation for cool calculation and a disarming smile. Rumor had it she once bluffed a lifelong hustler out of her commissary for a month, including the coveted peanut butter packets. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't brag. She didn't need to. When she was at the table, players straightened up. Conversations quieted. The game got serious. In the outside world, Julie had always been seen as Todd's softer counterbalance, domestic, nurturing, and somewhat sheltered. Inside, she was building a different kind of empire. She organized weekly tournaments. She kept the peace. Inmates started looking to her as a leader. Even the guards noticed how tempers cooled when Julie was at the helm of a card night. She had rules: no cheating, no threats, and no bets you couldn't back up. Anyone who crossed her found themselves quietly excluded. And in prison, being left out was sometimes worse than being punished. One inmate, Deshonda, who'd come up in Detroit's underground gambling circles, said it best: "Julie don't play. She sees everything, like a hawk with a Bible." To many, the transformation was surreal. How did a woman who once sobbed on national television over her family's indictment become the undefeated queen of a prison poker scene? The answer maybe was in her upbringing. Julie grew up in the South, where appearances mattered, where you learned to smile even when life hurt, where you learned to read a room with the precision of a politician. And prison, in its own warped way, rewarded exactly those skills. Behind every soft honey or sweetie, there was steel. Word of her prowess began to trickle beyond the prison walls. A prison guard, amused and a little in awe, anonymously leaked stories to a tabloid. Soon headlines blared: "Julie Chrisley's poker face, prison queenpin." The internet, ever hungry for irony, lapped it up. Fan art appeared. Memes circulated. Someone even made a t-shirt with her face over a deck of cards and the words, "Bless your bluffin' heart."